evening, everyone. We're here for the regular council meeting of October 19th. We'll do quick introductions, then we'll get right into it, and I will go through how the public hearings will work once we get to that stage. So this is going to be a hybrid model where we're online and in person, council's in person, and they will be voting with their hands shown, and then I will be calling out, are you calling out, or am I calling out? I'll call it if it's passed or not. We have with us Councillor Shane Pelche. Good evening. Councillor Curtis Clayton. Hi, everyone. Our CEO, Mitch Duval. Evening. Myself, Chris Ewan. We have Councillor Janine Boulanger. Hi there. Councillor Ron Mamchuk. Good evening. And our Assistant CEO, Dominic Lemoine. Hi there. Okay, so we will get right into it with item number 1, meeting call to order. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelche, second. Councillor Mamchuk. Anything before we call for the question? Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried 5-0. Thank you. We open the meeting at 7:02 p.m. Item 2, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover? Councillor Clayton, second. Councillor Boulanger. We have the agenda in front of us. I know we wanted to jump right to public hearings so that the crowd didn't have to stay for the long, tedious work that we have afterwards. If council's okay with that, good here. Go straight to that. So that starts at item 6, Mr. CEO, correct? Yep. Okay. So with that change, is there anything else? No. Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried by vote. Thank you. Jumping right to public hearing. So just a quick understanding how this is going to work, because this is in person and online. When we open the public hearing, I'll ask anyone wishing to speak in favor in person, or if the proponent has a presentation they'd like to make, they can go first, and then I'll ask anyone wishing to speak in favor in person, and then I will ask if there's anyone wishing to speak over the phone or online. At that time, you would unmute your microphone, turn on your video if you want to, and then just let us know you'd like to say your piece, and then I will go to anyone wishing to speak against. So if you're in person, you would go first, then on the phone, and then online, same thing, unmute your microphone and turn on your video if you'd like, and then it would be your time to speak. Having said that, we will jump right into it. Item 6.1.1, D21, 2022, Wadham 549 Pembina Trail.
The proposal is to vary the, number 1, maximum cumulative site coverage for an accessory building from 1,200 square feet to 1,528 square feet. 2, to maximum height of an accessory building from 17 feet to 22.5 feet. And 3, the minimum distance between buildings from 8 feet to 3 feet for the purpose of building a detached garage. According to the Planning Act, notices were sent out to 100 meters of said property and posted at the Case Provencher and the Dépanneur Cheyenne in Saint-Camp. Also posted on the municipal website and the municipal board.
Thank you. We'll open the public hearing at 7:04 p.m. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor, or the applicant wishing to make a presentation? In person? Sorry. Is there anyone on the phone or online wishing to speak in favor?
Kyle Wadham, I'm online here, but don't really have anything to say other than what I'm asking so far.
Okay, I appreciate that, Kyle. Council, do you have any questions for the applicant while he's online with us?
Yeah, hi, Mr. Wadham. It's Councillor Clayton here. I have a quick question for you. I'm looking at the site plan, and I guess the garage plans are 3 feet away, I guess, from one of the existing garages. Is the reason for that just because, are you servicing it with electrical, or I'm just curious?
Yeah, it's more for just space, conserving as much as I can, and I just don't see the need. Then I have to try to grow grass or whatever in between it. So no real reason other than I just want to have it closer together.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else from council? Nothing? Okay, thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. Is there anyone else online wishing to speak in favor or on the phone? Anything received in favor?
Nothing received.
Is there anyone wishing to speak against in person? Anyone online or on the phone wishing to speak against? received against?
Nothing received against.
Okay, one last call, if there's anyone wishing to speak in favor, against, maybe ask general comments or questions at this time, online, on the phone, or in person. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:06 PM. Do I have a mover? Councillor Boulanger, second by Councillor Manshek.
Therefore, be resolved that variation application V 21-2022 to vary the following: one, maximum cumulative site coverage for an accessory building from 1,200 square feet to 1,528 square feet. Two, maximum height of an accessory building from 17 feet to 22 feet. And three, minimum distance building between 8 feet to 3 feet. As defined in the RM of Rechot zoning bylaw 9-2019 as amended is approved, subject to the following conditions. One, that the accessory building must be used for personal use only, and two, that the applicant must obtain a building permit for the accessory building from the RM of Rechot office.
Thank you. I'll open up for council discussion. Council, do you have anything to add or anything?
Between buildings, and there, I looked at the plans, there's no fire rating on the wall, we don't know if the old garage, if there's fire rating on that wall. It's just, to me, it's too close, and if we could have, I would like to propose that we amend the very applications, if it's possible to keep them at 8 feet apart, site-wise,
Can that
like
be,
coverage-wise.
can that be a friendly amendment, or do I have to move in second?
You should move in second this one because the applicant asked for three, so therefore a mover seconder and
So you'd like
debate.
to see that?
I would like to see that.
Okay, I will, ask for an amendment. Do I have a mover for that amendment to, what did you want to go from?
From the 3 feet to the regular 8 feet, I just to have it closer and more efficient,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, we'll discuss. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
open
yeah.
it. Do I have a mover for that?
that's, I move it.
You'll move it, sorry, second? Councilor Manshek, okay, we can discuss now, if that's what the rest of council feels is the right way to go.
Do we have to go the full 8 feet? Or, I mean, typically we
Yeah.
can vary it below 8
Yeah.
feet too, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true, yeah.
what would be a precedent? I mean, would it be 5 feet or, I'm sure we've done 3 in the past or no?
Usually fire codes deal with 5 feet.
5 feet?
Mhm.
If you get any shorter than 5 feet, then you got a double drywall and provide that fire retardant barrier.
And on the other building too, so there's no, it didn't look like there was any, accommodation for that. You know, like if he was saying, oh, I'm gonna fire these 2 walls, I want them close together, then that's fair, but maybe the applicant didn't know about that, but,
Councilor Clayton, you'd like to see 5?
For me, I would see 5, yeah.
Councilor Pelletier? I'd be good with 5, would you?
I'd be good with 5 as well.
sure, yeah.
Okay, then I will,
Officially called.
officially call for the vote for
From 8
8
feet
feet
to
to
5 feet.
Yeah, from 3 feet to 5 feet.
You're going from 8, which is
Sorry,
a bylaw.
you're right, sorry, from 8
5
to 5, sorry. Okay, so I'll call for it for 8 to 5 feet. All those in favor? That's carried, thank you. We'll go back to the full variation application. Any other questions for any other points? Not here.
No, okay.
Okay, I will call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried, thank you. Moving on to item 6.1.2, V 2022 IDC Development, Inc., Lot 2, Plan 57061.
The proposal is to vary the minimum site area of a planned unit development from 5 acres to 4.76 plus or minus acres as a condition of the subdivision file 4165-21-8058. Again, notices were sent out to neighboring properties within 100 meters, posted on site, as well as the Ilvishing Country Store, municipal board, and municipal website.
Thank you. I will open the public hearing at 7:11 PM. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor, or is the applicant wishing to make a presentation at this time? In person? Come on, Mr. Teller. We'll get you to come up to the front, sorry.
Candace Morrow could actually talk more, she's online, so if you guys want to talk first. I think it's just more of a clerical thing, that we need 5 acres to do it by our bylaw, and it's 4.71.
Okay.
So just, I think it's more of a
Adjustment.
adjustment for you.
Council, do you have any questions?
No, not in this regard.
Not here.
Okay, that's all, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor in person? Anyone online or on the phone wishing to speak in favor?
Hi, Mary Lynn. It's Candace Morrow here.
Hi.
So exactly what Mr. Tolaire just said, it's just a formality with the subdivision application that's already been approved and in process. So we're just looking to vary the site width.
Perfect, thank you. No more questions for Candace while she's with us here? No? Okay, moving on. Is there anyone else online wishing to speak in favor? No one? Anything received in favor?
Nothing received.
Is there anyone in person wishing to speak against? Anyone online or on the phone wishing to speak against? Anything received against?
Nothing received again.
Okay, one last call. Anyone wishing to speak in favor on the phone or online, in favor, against, maybe ask general comments or questions at this time? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:13 PM. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelcher, second by Councillor Clayton.
Therefore, be resolved that variation application V 22-2022 be approved with no additional conditions.
Thank you. I'll open up for council discussion. Council, do you have anything to add?
Not here.
Councillor Pelcher, your area?
No, that was an ask from us, so.
Sounds good. Nothing else? I'll call. Oops, sorry, you're good. I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Moving on to 6.1.3, V 23-2022, stayed, 2228 Cosman Boulevard.
The proposal is to vary the following for the purpose of a detached garage. 1, the maximum height from 17 feet to 23.75 feet. 2, the maximum cumulative site coverage of an accessory building from 1,200 square feet to 2,851 square feet. And 3, the minimum distance between buildings from 8 feet to 5 feet. Again, notices were sent out to neighboring properties within 100 meters of the property and posted at the St. Adolph Cape and St. Adolph Esso, as well as the municipal board and municipal website.
Thank you. We'll open the public hearing at 7:14 PM. Is there anyone in person wishing to speak in favor or the applicant wishing to make presentation? Is there anyone online or on the phone wishing to speak in favor? Anything received in favor?
Nothing received in favor.
Okay. Anyone in person wishing to speak against? Come on up. And just your name for the record, Ms. Gibson.
Beth
Yes,
Gibson,
and your address, sorry.
22 Prairie Place.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's hard to start when I don't really know exactly
Sorry, you want me to go first?
what to,
Are you the applicant?
Yeah, I just wasn't sure to do anything before, but
Sure.
you
Ms.
might answer her question.
Yeah, Ms.
it's
Gibson.
very hard to speak when I don't know.
Sure, we'll do that.
Sure, I'll go first, I just wanted,
Sure. Come on up, sir. Go ahead.
I guess I don't really know what to say in this.
Just what you're looking to do, maybe the reason
Just a
why.
detached garage.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest thing is probably people worry about the square footage. The footprint of it is only 1,400 square feet, it's just slightly bigger than what is called for in the maximum, I guess, already is 1,200. 1,400 is my square footage, but the stuff above it is what makes it 2,800. So it's not actually a giant warehouse, it's just a regular sized garage, but there's storage above it. So I don't know if that helps.
That wasn't clear.
Yeah, sorry, we're just gonna, we'll focus on the applicant discussing with council, and then you can ask
Sure.
questions after, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, if we put a tiny little garage next to our house, it's gonna look really weird,
Mhm.
the other part of it. And, I have drawings here to show what it, like a rendered drawing of it to show what it's supposed to look like. I've got a couple packages if anyone wants to see it.
Sure, yeah, if you want to circulate that from council room.
And I've got, I don't have a site plan because I didn't want to go forward with it. Right now, the lots aren't consolidated. They are gonna get consolidated, but I didn't want to do that until this is approved because it's very costly and time inefficient to take them apart. I also can't sell it once it's consolidated, so. But I did make a site plan showing what was gonna, the footprint of it next. I think
Does council want to see the drawings, the rendering?
probably I can mirror it.
Just for everybody's.
Yeah, I have a back. I did send it to Tanya.
One for each side,
Oh, it's gonna make me long.
the top one.
You know what, I'll send it from my phone.
That rendering wasn't in the circulation, was it?
I don't think so.
No, the public, no.
Right, and there's two areas, because there's a little rectangle at the back that's gonna have like, I don't know, I guess my office you could say, or something, it's like, there's still a storage room, but there's no living space in
You have a
it.
bathroom up there.
It's potentially, unless you guys said no, but it's like a shop, most shops have, or some garages have, just a toilet and a sink in it.
And the only way to get to the second story is by the exterior stairs?
No, there's gonna be a ladder inside.
A ladder, okay.
So it's 2,800 square feet and each of is 1,400, is that what you're saying? The two-
Basically, they're also counting the carport for some reason, I guess it's just the way the system is a carport, and they're counting the square footage in that 2,900.
Because I think when everybody said it was 2,800 square feet, they figured it was just one dwelling.
Yeah, and then when I saw this come out, I was like, hey, people are not gonna like this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either.
I think that's what was a little bit, the sort of deceiving, because
Yeah.
2,800 square feet.
So the carport's like 300 square feet of that. The actual garage area is less than the 1,200. It's 1180, it says on the drawing there. And then there's a room at the back that's 17 by 15, and that's what puts us over the 1,200.
Yeah, play the
Should we do it?
Sims 4 here.
It goes to our back deck. We have a upper level deck that, and these stairs don't need to be there, it's just easier access. Especially if they are allowed to put a washroom in there for whatever reason.
Okay.
The finishing of the garage is, the garage is gonna be, it's gonna look like it was always there. It's gonna look like our house, it's gonna be the same stucco, the same brick.
That was some of the concerns too, that I believe.
Yeah.
Council, you can ask questions at this time.
So, looking at this as a new building here, about how much of it would be sort of considered garage and how much would it be, like you say percentage-wise, how much would be, say, is garage space and how much would be other living space or office space?
Well, there's no living space, but the
Okay,
garage
yeah.
footprint itself is 1180,
Yeah,
so that's the garage area.
Yeah.
And then there's like rafters, like any garage above it.
Yeah.
And then there's a 17 by 15 room on the back corner
okay,
that's closest to our house.
Yeah.
And that's where there would be like, in theory, maybe an office, and that's where the washroom would be upstairs.
Mhm.
The lower one's just more storage. They're basically both storage upstairs, and then a garage with a footprint.
And you think you're gonna be able to get away with a ladder going upstairs?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much reason to go up and down, like Christmas trees and decorations and stuff would go
Oh,
up
so
there.
it really is truly for storage, it's not,
Yeah, there's no
Okay.
living space out there.
I have a question about, so you say potentially an office, so would you be running your business out of this building then, or?
22 Cosman is my business address right now, so yes, my business is run out of my house currently,
Okay, and
but
what,
it's just an address. All of our work is done outside, mostly outside St. Alpha, I guess 5% of our work is in St. Alpha, but most of
and what
it
is your business?
construction, landscaping.
Oh, okay.
So do you have office in Winnipeg?
No, my office is in my house right now.
So where's your equipment currently stored?
We only have a couple skid steers and a couple of trailers, small skid steers. Last winter, I don't know if anybody noticed, I had them on the second lot, and back into the corner, I built a fence. It was, you couldn't really see it, but in the winters, that's where we would maybe put it in there. But right now, it's all at Ron Paul, which is the garden center on St. Mary's. It spends the whole summer there, it's only for the winter, it's just to keep things out of the snow.
I'm glad you showed us, because it gives me a lot better of an idea of what exactly is going on there. Council, do you have any other questions? No, right now at this time?
I'm just concerned about the bathroom, that kind of makes it a permanent, or makes it a different function. So what is our, do we have bylaws or something about bathrooms and garages, Mr. CEO, do you know?
I can find,
You think that's a bit of, difficult? No? Okay.
Basically, it would have to be serviced from the main dwelling.
Okay.
Well, it's a residential lot that burnt down, the house burnt down, and there's water and sewer available right on the property. But it would have to.
Does that come from the house?
Are you opposed if this was to go through with no bathroom in there?
I'm not opposed.
Okay.
But I'd like there to be a specific
Yeah.
reason. I did talk to, Sewer and Water here. They didn't seem to think there was anything wrong with going from the existing, once I amalgamate them, obviously, or consolidate them. Shouldn't be any reason to have the water and sewer come from the set, like, from the road where it is now.
I think our biggest concern if it didn't go through with the bathroom would be eventually if you ever sold the building, it could be converted into some sort of dwelling space. That would be the biggest reason why we're just a little bit on the edge with that
Yeah.
concept.
It couldn't though, because once I consolidate the lot, which is the only way I can build this garage, I can't sell it separately.
But like a rental suite, right, and then there's gonna be more
Oh.
concern, right, things like that. So that's,
Suppose if I want to,
Yeah.
above a garage, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. But it's not gonna be,
no, I understand that. We always have to look to the future, right, so that's kind of one of our concerns.
And your garage is maybe 1,400 square feet approximately,
1180 with a 17 by 12.
and
Or
it's gonna have 2
16.
doors, and what's the purpose of the garage?
The purpose of the garage?
Yeah.
In the winter, we'll probably put some trailers in there and some.
So you'd be
access.
storing some of your equipment then?
Yeah, which I thought was a better plan than putting it on my lot for everybody to see. It's a safety thing, it's a longevity of the product itself.
Okay, also, since you're running your business out of your residence, is there, potential piles of gravel or stone gonna be?
No, we don't
On-site.
sell, we're not in sales, so anything that's there right now is actually mine. I'm building a, I don't know, garden and a patio on that lot at the back that's gonna go behind this garage, so there's a small pile of gravel there. The guys who are running the cables to everyone's houses right now, stores gravel on my driveway right now. And there's some brick back there that I'm gonna put into the patio, so no, we're not, it won't be there for storage.
I know personally that you look after your residence very nicely, you would keep it really nice and clean, so.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That's it for council. Okay, thanks, I appreciate it. Okay, oh, yeah, sure.
maybe hand it to, no.
Can we get a copy made of that, actually?
Front page, yeah, we can just get the front page. Thanks.
You run right now.
Okay, we'll just go back. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor online, in person, or on the phone?
She's just making a copy, she'll get it to you.
And nothing received in favor?
Nothing received.
Okay, is there anyone in person wishing to speak against? I know, Ms. Gibson, you were gonna come up and speak. Did you wanna come up still and speak?
Yes.
Okay, come on. Need your information? You're good? Go ahead.
All right, there's a little difference from what I originally thought as far as size. Just to explain, our property there are houses that look directly on that lot, and we're one of the houses that looks directly, our living room, every room looks at that lot. So, part of the reason I'm here, I agree, your house is lovely, they keep their yard beautifully, but for the last year, we've looked at, it hasn't been a nice sight across, and that's what we see every day out our windows. But we were waiting for a house. Having moved here into a residential area, we just expected a house would be built there. So when the letter came out that a residential detached garage was going to be there, the concern was immediately, because we have seen it used for commercial storage with trucks, different things parked on the lot, whether it's at the back and the piles, maybe other people don't see it, but it's what we've been looking at in the winter, and then, so it was very concerning. We wanted to make sure for our property value that this was going to be a residential garage, not used for commercial use, whether it be an office, and I know enough to understand landscaping, you know, you're going out and looking at places, but we have seen the vehicles parked there, and to me, that's been used as a commercial lot when you're parking black trucks or trailers or whatever on the lot, and I understand he wants to get it inside and out of sight, but to me, I'm concerned that in a residential area, that personal garage is definitely gonna be used for commercial use, and then could it get to be more of a commercial use? So that's the main concern, is property values for our whole area, because once the precedent is set that people can store commercial product, and, you know, I don't know what will be, I just heard that there's gonna be a carport. Well, that's gonna be open, direct sight to the street, everybody going by, and to us, what goes in there. And it could be just, I don't even know, but that's raised another concern, because I didn't know when the proposal was to move the building closer to their home, what was gonna be on the other side. So now, I haven't looked closely enough to see if that carport will go to the fence on the other side. You know, that there'll, you know, I was gonna ask if they were gonna plant grass and trees and make it look nice on the extra square footage that they would have beside the garage. And my thought all along from the diagram was that it was 2,800 and some square feet, and then another level. So we've got a smaller size, but they're still moving it over, so does the carport go to the fence? Would be, because if there's other stuff, can you show me the carport?
It's on the back.
It's on the back side.
Oh, so we want,
You want
This is what you're gonna see on the front side. There's 10 feet, or
Okay.
12 feet between here and there.
yeah,
And there will be gravel that's gonna go, like black granite, going back down the side.
okay.
And that's just because it's harder to maintain. But it's, part of the reason we're doing it is just so that it doesn't look commercial, honestly. And,
Yeah.
and there's nothing,
And you guys have great taste, so as soon as I saw the plan last week, I just thought, well, it's gonna look really nice. It's what the building is gonna be used for. And I, just having been in the situation where somebody says this is the way something is, and then it ends up something else, and then you have to deal with it. I just wanted some answers and to know from the beginning, because I don't wanna have a commercial comings and goings, whether it's just equipment and an office in a residential zone, so those are my questions.
I appreciate that. Council, do you have any questions for Ms. Gibson?
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at Ms. Gibson's home, and I can see that basically, looking out the back of it, just a little bit to the left, you'll see the applicant's property. So I'm assuming before the former house burnt down, they would have had a two-car garage in there before, right?
No, but it was a house.
Right.
That's all I'm talking about,
Okay.
whether it was a house. I just wanna make sure it's residential and not used for a commercial purpose. That's my concern.
Fair point, yeah.
So, and you can see exactly the back has all the windows that we look out and see that property every day, all day. And so do other houses on our residential street.
Councilor Manager, if you
Yeah, Mrs. Gibson, thanks
Yeah.
for your presentation. The question is, from what I gather, your main concern is you don't want no commercial vehicles on this property. You don't mind the setup, the way it's built. You have
For a
nothing
personal
against the
garage, I think it's
So that's
lovely,
your number one concern, is no commercial vehicles. But
for equipment.
he's using a probably commercial truck to go back and forth to work, so I mean, he has to use that. But you talk about the equipment more than anything else.
But he's got a number of trucks that he uses for business. So maybe a truck, that's used for business, a fleet or whatever, or whether it's 2, 3, 4, maybe it doesn't count. Is that what you're saying?
I
If
understand
it's
that this truck is a commercial vehicle, so that's,
oh,
yeah.
everybody has to
So
work.
that's your main, concern.
Nobody's
is
ever
commercial
gonna-
vehicles. Okay, thank you very much for your clarification.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
or any,
No, I appreciate it. Anything else from council? No? Okay, thank you, Mrs. Gibson, I appreciate it. Is there anyone else in person wishing to speak against? Come on up, lady in the purple, come on up. Arm wrestle. I just had a seat, then just your name and your address, please.
Okay, Shirley Dennett, and I live at 23 P.M. Place. Okay. A little bit further to what the lady was saying, we realize that, yes, he uses a commercial vehicle. We understand that. But it's not just one commercial vehicle. There's several trucks, and there's trailers, and there's stuff being hauled back and forth. And I think that's what she was trying to get a point across. It wasn't just his one vehicle. There's numerous vehicles. And the concern I have is, yes, we are residential, and this is leaning more towards commercial. And vehicles coming and going constantly, if more vehicles are being parked there, I have a concern about all day, in the morning, and into the evening, say 10:30, until it's dark. Those are my concerns,
Okay, I appreciate that.
okay?
I think just so you know, we do have a noise bylaw, correct, Mr. CEO?
I beg your pardon?
We do have a worker noise bylaw, and I think everything's to be done by 10 PM. Is that our bylaw?
11 to 6.
So, yeah, so 11 to 6, so anyone can really make almost any noise they want until 11. That's
within reason.
within reason, obviously, yeah, so we can't really stop the 10:30 trucks driving around if they have work to do, even if it's not his, be it somebody else, Public Works, the garbage trucks driving around, whatever it is, they can technically operate till 11, just so you know for your information.
So he can operate his commercial business out of there?
No, anyone can, what I'm saying is anyone can operate work if there's work to be done around that area up to 11 PM. So if somebody's doing their landscaping next door to you till 11 PM, they have the right to do so.
Yes,
That's
and I agree,
yeah.
but all day,
Well, till,
you know, I mean, when people are doing various things in the neighborhood, yes, it's like a day or two here or there, whatever, but it's not constantly from one property.
no, I understand, but technically, yeah, it could be
Okay.
all day, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like legally, through the
So
policy.
he can do it then.
Yeah, through all day up to 11, that's what we're saying. I don't disagree with you, but just the policy states that. Anything else from council?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you very much, I appreciate your time. I saw there was someone else in person wishing to speak against. Come on up, my lady. And just name and address.
Helen Saffron at 57 Cotswold.
Thank you.
My concern was that, I wanted it, you know, to be a residential, not a business
Okay.
area, that was brought up. But I've also heard, stories, or rumors, whatever, that, he plans on having a playroom, say for a pool table or shuffleboard or whatever. So, would he be allowed to have that in there if there's no bathroom? Or he's telling us it's just gonna be a storage and an office?
Okay. I don't know the rules, Ms. Shield, but can there be a pool room in a garage? I don't think there's anything against that, no. Anyone could technically do that right now,
Okay,
yeah. Yeah.
and, how close is to the neighbor's house? Is it 5 feet?
So,
It's supposed to be 8, we're looking for various to 5.
the proposal's 5 feet. Property line, not the house. Sorry, property line, thank you.
I'm just thinking if the neighbors, you know, that are on that property, because there's children there too, so. I suppose that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, I just like to keep it as a residential.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Is there any questions for council?
Not here, thank you.
Okay, we'll come back to you after. Sure. Okay. Is there anyone else in person wishing to speak against? Is there anyone online or on the phone wishing to speak against? Anything received against?
4 letters received, whether concerns or objections. First one is from Beth Gibson. Do you want me to read your letter out loud, or you summarized it already?
I think that it's covered. I have one more question.
Sure.
I assume that the change in the variance was on the side, on their side, to give more room? Is it close to the other neighbors?
It's pushing it closer to our house, because once
Okay,
the
that's,
lots are consolidated, they're on the property line.
okay.
Thank you. Okay, so then your letter not read is okay, you're okay with that? You
I
stated your-
think that's fine.
Okay, go to Scott.
We have a letter from Laura V. Scott and Dennis Crow from 24 Ferrara Place. We have the following concerns. We suspect the proposed garage will be used for landscaping, business, commercial use. Why would a garage need to be 23.75 feet in height? And if there is a second story, what would it be used for? Also, why would the distance between the buildings be reduced to 5 feet when there was already total loss from a fire? Furthermore, who needs a 2851 square foot garage for personal use? In conclusion, we moved into this area as it was our understanding that this was a residential area. This is it. Good afternoon. I'm forwarding this email to your office with concerns regarding application based on the number of concerns. Firstly, the current stat residence is already an imposing structure in the neighborhood. There are few, if any, that would equal in size to their home, given that we are a small community with more modest homes in this area of St. Adolphe. The possibility of having yet another building next to it, in my opinion, could possibly be an eyesore. I understand that the plan is to match their existing home, and I have no issue with that. But I do have an issue as to why such a large structure is necessary in a residential neighborhood. Their front portion of their existing home is direct view of my window, and I'm not looking forward to seeing yet another building not home out of my front window. Secondly, I would have to question why this structure is necessary, if in fact it will be used for residential purposes. We are well aware of the owners that have a property owned a landscaping company up until recently, and there has been numerous commercial vehicles coming and going over the last couple of years since I have lived there. Recently, there has not been happening, as he has cleaned up his yard somewhat, but I strongly suspect that it will be storing commercial vehicles and or equipment in this building, simply based on the proposed size of the structure. He already has a very large double garage. If he is proposing to add an additional double garage, that would be one thing. But the plans I have seen do not reflect that. Also, the traffic and noise on Kaufman Boulevard is already ridiculous with the amount of vehicles, quads, motorbikes, and dirt bikes in the area. I have heard that the municipality has a bit of a reputation for loose restraints on what goes on here. But if they allow this building to go up and turns into a commercial situation, what else is to stop anyone else from doing the same? And there will be guarantees that it will not be used for commercial purpose. I would like to see that in writing. Thirdly, a structure of this nature is sure to devalue our properties. Kaufman is the only one of two entrances into the neighborhood, and the proposed structure offers no appeal to the area. Two huge buildings is what I see every day on my way home, turning onto Kaufman. I moved out to St. Adolphe to enjoy the small bedroom community life. The approval of the building, the structure, will definitely diminish the appeal of the neighborhood. In conclusion, you would be hard-pressed to convince me that the Stads are not looking to set up a business on their property, regardless of the size of the structure, not conducive to the rest of the homes in the area. And even if they aren't proposing to move their business, why should we be allowing individual Stad structures that are properties that are not keeping up with the values of the community? And last letters from Luxton residents, 23 and 23A Legal Bay. This one's a little bit harder to read because they're itemizing some items, but I'll try to do it due justice. As the property owners of 23 Legal Bay, we are considerably concerned with this request. The requested variance is not one that would be considered minor, in my opinion, and quite the opposite. The rural municipality of Richelieu zoning bylaws are governed and key to ensure zoning bylaw standards of residential areas are maintained and kept within reason. The requesting variance of this magnitude is not one. Going from 17 feet to 23.75 feet is over the maximum by 6.75 feet. The maximum cumulative site from 12 to 28 is 1,600 over and 2 times the maximum permitted. The Richelieu zoning bylaw permits garage, private, or carport means an accessory building or a portion of a building, if attached, used by the occupants to the premises on frontage was located for the parking or temporary storage of private passenger motor vehicles, and may also include the incidental storage of other personal property. We really question the intent for requesting such a large variance. Will this be used for commercial business or future rental space? And then 3, the maximum distance from 8 to 3 feet. This is 3 feet less than what is allowed. History tells us that reducing the maximum building distance will in fact increase the probability of fire damage to not 1 but 2 buildings. There are many other factors to contribute and have negative impact in our neighborhood if this variance is passed. Loss of sunlight to neighboring residents. 2, negatively affect other property views. 3, adequate spacing and openness resulting for the exceeding height and mass of the structure for the proposed detached garage. 4, erodes the aesthetics of the streetscape, making surrounding areas less attractive, thereby pushing property value down and affecting overall neighborhood appeal. Understanding the secondary property's intent was to be a residential property as it was previously, we feel the request that variance far exceeds what it is considered as an acceptable and reasonable amount on all points, and as such, should be denied. We as a community must stand up and deny oversized buildings requested to ensure the community is kept beautiful and respectful for everyone.
Thank you. Okay, I'll give it a final round. Actually, if the applicant wants to make any comments to the questions or comments that were asked, he's more than welcome to. Did you have anything you wanted to add, or? Yeah, come on up.
I tried to make as many notes as I could.
Okay.
The building going on it is gonna be smaller than the two-story that was there before.
Okay.
So the loss of light thing doesn't really make any sense.
Okay.
It's a smaller house in general, or piece of, or building in general, so it's, not gonna be overbearing. I guess together they're big, but, this precedent has been set in our neighborhood already. There are large shops all around St. Adolphe, specifically in our neighborhood, that are not even trying to look like the homes that they're beside. They're actually quite a bit larger. They look like warehouses. So the precedent has been set. The other thing is, I don't actually have to ever build anything there. The bylaw says I can leave that as an open lot as long as I take care of it forever. So I don't actually have to sell it. I don't have to build anything on it, as long as it looks pretty. That's all that really matters. I can even bring my trucks and trailers there. I'm allowed to do that. And, I don't like that. We don't like that. My wife and I don't want it to look commercial. This is why we're doing what we're doing. I know that people here have to voice their opinions, because at some point I could sell. It's clearly not the plan, but I'm not gonna get any value for it in St. Adolphe. It's gonna be way overvalued for making any money on it. So we're here for the long run, but that doesn't matter. But half these things that they're saying, I know that we have to address, because if I did sell it, they have to look after what could happen after I leave, right? I'm fine with all that. The carport goes off the back side, we talked about that, so there's nothing but what you can see in the drawing on the front side. Yes, we're moving it closer because, it makes the space on the other side useless if we don't. We're also trying to, it's not attached, but we're trying to put like a, I guess, pergola across to make it look pretty, to make it look like it's part of the house. Nothing is being hauled away from there daily, ever. It doesn't make any sense for me to haul anything out to St. Adolphe to then haul it back into the city, so that's not happening. We spend about, and again, this is something that you have to look out for, because somebody could in the future do this, but we've lived here for 11 years, and I come to St. Adolphe, I do about 2 weeks worth of work every year. We don't haul things, to and from the city. At nighttime, we've been bringing our trailers and putting them on that lot just the last 2 years since the house burnt down, so that we're not leaving on the streets, which we're allowed to leave in the streets, so we're trying to keep things clean that way. But as far as material going back and forth, that doesn't happen, it doesn't make any sense. We aren't making noise unless I'm working in my yard, I suppose. There's no trucks and trailers coming there all day long, except for that 2 week stint that we have been there. There hasn't been a trailer there for months. Site, got that 2-story. They're talking about it being too big of a lot. This, before we bought this lot, it was one lot, and about a month before we purchased it, I can't remember his name, Gagne maybe, he separated the lots and made it into 2 tiny little lots, and then we bought it. And so if we purchased this 1 month ahead, we would have got both lots for the same price, and it would have looked like one of the double lots that are all over St. Adolphe, specifically on corners. There are lots of houses bigger than ours in St. Adolphe. If you go through and look at all the square footage on the roll numbers online, that's available to everyone. So it's not a monster that's way bigger than any other house out there, which is one of the points in the letters I wrote down. It's gonna be really hard to get a pool table up a ladder, but I suppose we could build the pool table in there. So yes, it's not supposed to be a game room. But there's rumors everywhere, so. That's all else I have, I guess.
Council, do you have any final questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I guess I'm a little bit confused on the double lot thing, so, you know, the site coverage is for when you have a house, and then you have accessory buildings on your house, you're allowed to a certain percentage, or up to 1,200 square feet, so because it's separate lots, it's kind of different, because you don't have a primary house on that second lot. So, your plan is to consolidate them?
Yes, the paperwork is lined up and ready to go
It's already, okay,
tomorrow,
so then that'll be,
That'd be one title.
okay.
which will put it back to the same size of the lot that was for sale originally, 10 years ago.
My other question is, what I hear is a big concern is the business aspect of it. So I'm still a little confused about where your business is, like you say, you're going from Winnipeg to here, but your business is in your home.
Right, so if you drive around St. Adolphs in general, maybe not so much in Turon Creek, but in our half of 210, and even actually all the way to Turon Creek, there's lots of contractors in St. Adolphs. That's why a lot of people move out here. There's tons of trailers on everybody's lots, there's commercial vehicles on everybody's lots. It's just something that kind of happens in a small town. But we are not running a business out of our yard. We don't sell material. I don't have a PST number. I cannot sell bricks, gravel, any type of material at all. So it is not going to be that. There's going to be a fence that crosses over here to block this off. There's not going to be things going back and forth. We're not storing material there to sell it or drag it back into the city where most of, like 95% of our work is. I talked to Tanya, I said I would sign something saying that it's not going to be used for commercial use other than in the winter, but I'm going to have kids that have cars someday. There's other 4-car garages in St. Adolph as well, and so my kids may put their vehicles in there as well. And right now, we don't have any intent, like, to bring trucks and trailers back to St. Adolph if we don't have to. We store them generally off-site. And during the season, we certainly don't have them there. So they might be there in the winter, but nobody would ever know because they'll be indoors mostly. And
So you say you've got your business actually has your name of your address of your house?
yeah,
So do you have a business license?
yeah, of course. This is their 25th year.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been licensed, bonded, and insured for 25 years.
Are you asking if they have a business permit in Richmond or business license?
No,
Business permit in Richmond?
oh, sorry, no, we do not.
I think that's a concern, the discussion for them.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand
With
the
respect to
use
home
of the
business?
garage.
Yeah, right.
So, this, just for information for you and for the rest of them, this council is very strong in advocating getting home-based businesses to get a commercial or a permit in Richmond. So not only good for you, but it's good for us to be able to work with you if there's any grants coming out here, but as well as making sure that what's going on for the business you specified is actually happening for the residents around you and for yourself and for council. So that, Tanya can send that information to you after.
I wouldn't be opposed that we've been doing work for Rochelle for the
Yeah.
last,
100%. I have a business permit in my condo. It's something that people do all the time, so I'll get Tanya to send it.
but as far as it looking like a business and
Yeah.
running as a business,
Yeah.
no one would really ever know once it's
No,
all
exactly.
done.
Well, again, for example, my business permit is to run my office out of my condo, so.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what it's for.
Sure, I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, that's the question you were trying to lead to.
Exactly, and in that business application, it would say what you can
What you
and
can and can't do, exactly.
What you
So
store,
it
what you
protects-
can store,
Right.
what you can't store.
Exactly.
If I don't do what I'm doing and we have to move our stuff out of where it's being stored now, it's gonna look worse.
Yeah.
And there's nothing really that can be said, like, as long as we keep the weeds down, that's really the only precedent.
Yeah, no, so go ahead, Councilor.
If I understand correctly, you said you have an office in your home right now.
Yeah, it's just a room there. I don't even have to put an office in this garage if I don't want, it's like,
Okay.
Councilor Clayton?
Yeah, no, I'm just hearing from a lot of the residents opposition, which kind of surprised me, because, you seem like a great person, and you have a nice home, you know, so I'm just wondering truly if what they're seeing all the time is maybe a landscaping business, running, you know, and I know you say you don't store a lot of materials, and you don't do a lot of work there, but still, that's kind of what I'm hearing from the residents, and I'm looking at the conditions, and, it says no landscaping business activity is permitted in the RG8 zone. So is it mostly just that you're taking your trailers and parking them on the lot right now?
there's nothing there. There hasn't been anything there for months. We work in St. Out, like I said, about 2 weeks a year. And all my stuff stays at Ron Paul's all year round. And
So
I'm sorry,
maybe-
all summer long, all season.
So maybe some of the perception is just that it's a vacant lot from a burnt out home
Yeah.
that just needs to be cleaned up and put back to what it was like before, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm guessing, I don't know.
well, and we started this like 2 years ago, and then COVID kind of
Sure,
stopped everything,
yeah.
right? Like,
No.
this isn't my intent to have an open lot for this long.
Right, yeah, so
We
I'm
wanted.
assuming everything is groomed all around it, and you have a,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of lots that are empty that have worse weed situations than we do, but we've been taking care of it, and
sure.
slowly. It's hard to wanna go and landscape it when we're about to tear it all up. I don't wanna put sod and trees and
No,
stuff
no,
on
no.
that side, right?
Councilor Pelletier?
Is Oak Park using your property right now?
Is anything parked there?
Like, that's the Bell guys?
Oh yeah, Bell, they have a pile of gravel there right now, like, they've been coming over for the last 2 weeks, taking stuff off our driveway and making it look commercial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could probably be causing some of the grief that you're
Yeah, well,
seeing here.
and honestly, the letter saying 3,000 square feet, like, that was very misguiding. And, I can understand why people with these letters that didn't bother to show up are concerned, I would be too.
Yeah. And then the variant is actually between your house and the
Yeah.
new garage, right?
Uh,
8 to 5. Yeah.
right, which we can't even do until they're consolidated.
Yeah.
Right. I understand we can't put on the property line.
But you're not varying from the property line to the new garage, because you'll be well away from this.
On the neighbor's place.
Yeah, on the east side, we're gonna be 12 feet,
Yeah.
at least 12 feet away from the
Okay.
fence.
He's not gonna, yeah, he's not gonna.
In the property line, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, nothing else from council?
No, I think I've got it clear now.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate
It's
it.
a bit confusing.
No, no, no.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you very much.
Okay.
One last call, if there's anything else that we missed, if it's a repetitive comment, unfortunately, I don't have the time to hear, but if it's something new, please come on, Mrs. Gibson.
Just because we have a direct view, and I know, Ron, you said, like, we're not unreasonable people, somebody brings a truck home. This is why there was concern, but listening to what I've listened to and finding out that if this doesn't go ahead, we will continue to see weeds and gravel and just trucks and stuff parked there in the winter. It's almost, no choice, because he's saying that if he doesn't get this, we will continue to look at what we have looked at for the last years. And no, there was some sod or trees and stuff way in the back, but the front, I mean, this year was the worst until August. So it's not like we have had anything other than ugly to look at. But what he's proposing, it's almost forcing the issue, and that it will be a commercial spot, whether it's storage or a garage. And obviously, it doesn't, it's a no-brainer if that's our choice. But not being from this area, I didn't know that somebody could put commercial trucks and other belongings on a lot, on a residential lot for as long as they wanted. So this is all a learning experience, but that new information is, it's hard to
I appreciate that.
say anything against it.
Okay, I'm going to, close the public hearing. Do I have a mover? Councilor Clayton, second, Councilor Boulanger, close the public hearing at 8:00 PM.
Sorry, mover, Councilor Boulanger.
No.
So, sorry, Councilor Clayton moved, Councilor Boulanger second. I think.
The resolution for debate will be, therefore be resolved that variation application B 23-2022 to vary the following: maximum cumulative site coverage for an accessory building from 1,200 square feet, 2,800 square feet, to the maximum height of the accessory building from 17 feet to 23.75 feet, and the minimum distance from 8 feet to 5 feet, as defined in the R1 retail zoning bylaw, be amended as approved, subject to the following conditions. 1, the accessory building must be for storage use only. The owner will be required to sign a document confirming such. No landscaping business activity is permitted in the RG8 zone. 2, the applicant must obtain a building permit for the accessory building from the Army Reach Out. 3, the applicant must provide a stamped engineered plans for the accessory building. 4, the drainage shall not affect neighboring properties. 5, lot 1 and 2, plan 46259 must be consolidated prior to obtaining the building permit. And 6, the detached garage shall not be used as living space at any time. That's it. I just want to make sure that's it.
Okay, I'll open up for council discussion. Council. Councilor Blanchard.
I would like to amend the, variance to make it accurate, because the 2800 is not accurate. It's 1824. From what the bylaw shows that it can, site coverage is community of all accessory buildings, and accessory buildings is
So it's not 2,800, that's.
site coverage definition, open or covered porches and verandas, excluding open and closed terraces. Site coverage shall include all, yeah, it goes, it doesn't talk about the second story, it's just what the site,
So
the footprint is.
could that be a friendly amendment? Could we talk about that with the applicant and council's on the same page, Mr. Steele, or do you need an actual amendment?
Kind of just a correction and
More of a.
calculation.
Yes, this one I will.
Council's okay with that?
Right,
Yeah?
well, it should be, when it's properly with what the actual square footage is.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I just did a calculation based on, and the carport is included. I looked up the definition, carports are included in accessory.
55391180, is that what you set up?
Yeah,
Yeah. What's that?
1824.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to amend?
No.
Okay. Any questions? Council, any comments?
I guess I just have something else, just within the conditions, and I'll kind of go back to it again. It says no landscaping business activity is permitted in the RG8 zone. Like, it seems like that's the biggest concern with the residents, is that we're running a business. I think there's less concern with the actual building than with, you know, the running of the business. So I have our CAO beside us here. I'm just curious, like, what, you know, with that one sentence, you know, no landscaping business activity is permitted in the RG8 zone. I mean, what does that really mean? I mean, we can't be storing piles of topsoil and aggregates and gravel and having skid steers coming in and out, or is it?
Well, and that's how it's really worded. It's no landscaping business is permitted. So anything related to the business.
So no storing of materials
Would be, according to this,
Right.
no.
Okay.
Storing of equipment?
Storing of equipment, that's all part of the business.
Because when we're talking to the applicant, it made it sound like, you know, we can go ahead and put our trucks there and kind of sort of do anything we want with that land, but really that's contradictory to what our zoning bylaws. So, no, it's in there, I just want to clarify, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause in our bylaws, it says a home-based business is a conditional, is allowed under conditional use. But then if it's a, like,
But this is not a conditional use, this is a
no, no, no,
variation
it's a variation,
application.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's another matter.
Anything else from council?
So would we need a conditional use from just to park a skid steers?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I would have to reread the zoning bylaw word for word and come back with an opinion on that. So if council is, should council choose to wait on that, I would table the decision until we get that, advice for you.
May we see people park their Zen buildings?
Yeah, I'll not park the skid steers as well, out and about. Mine are never out and about. If they're on my lot, they're in my garage.
I appreciate that. This is just council time,
Sure.
but I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I had a hard time not being able to, I was very against this at planning, I'll be completely honest, and now my mind has changed tenfold, so.
Right. And could some of this be discussed when the application for the home-based business comes to us as well? Because we will need to see that.
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
Take it one step further, and even you go driving around the community, whether St. Adolph or St. Catherine, any community in our armor shop, there is trucks that have their trailers attached, and I said, you know, Joe's windows, landscaping, all that, so, I mean, it's, after living, I mean, you know, you're not gonna take everything, well, you can't park your tractor because that's your tools to go to work.
I'm really torn. I'm appreciative that something will be built on there and anything that was outside will be inside. That's the benefit I see. This will be cleaned up. And judging by the character of the current home, I think the way that he's showing this, I think it's gonna look great.
Well, if anything, I have to say, I think it'd be better than what we see there now. It's gonna be an improvement physically.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think the rendering is much different than how the public notice went out. You know, it looked like a 2,800 square foot
Yeah, that was the
building, and like the applicant said, I'm not building a warehouse, you know, and you look at it, and aesthetically, you know, if you look at his plans for the garage, and if you look at what was on there before, we looked at Google Maps,
Yeah.
I mean, it's different, you know, but it's not that unsimilar.
Yeah. Anything else from council?
Well, the amalgamated lots will only be 0.4 of an acre, which is about the same size as some of the other ones that I see on the street, and, I'm the same, I was 100% a no, this needs to go out to a 2-acre lot somewhere, but with the drawings and the clarification on the size of the building,
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad the applicant showed up. It's a notice, it's just a notice for anyone that's ever watching this, when the applicant shows up at the benefit. Okay, anything else before I call for the question?
Fine here.
Okay, Mr. Seal, you're okay, you're doing something?
I was just reading the application does state an application for 2851, so that's what we, that's why.
So do you want the amendment, just to be safe?
The amendment is already.
Oh, it's in there, okay. Okay, I'm gonna call for the question, all those in favor? That's carried 5-0, thank you very much. Moving on to 6.2.1, C14, 2022, Khalidi, 2098, pass with 9. Actually, maybe we'll give it 1 minute in case anyone wants to leave, that's not part of the next hearings, council meeting, to give it some.
And need to catch up some.
Yeah, we'll give it a 2-minute break here.
So it's odd that, you know, when you, this is land on house,
Well, I've got
Oh,
The picture of the ceiling is good. Picture of her handing are good though.
We're staying off the air.
Hang on, yeah, driving to CAO, that's what it looks like. Oh, this is being recorded. Okay, we will, reconvene here. Going on to 6.2.1, C14, 2022, Kalidi, 2098, path 59. PTH 59, sorry.
The proposal is to allow the conversion of an existing quad set into a 720 square foot garden suite in the agricultural general zone. Again, according to the planning requirements, notices were sent to 100 meters of said property. It's posted on site at the Ilvishane Country Store, municipal board, and municipal website.
I'll open the public hearing at 8:14 PM. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor, or the applicant wishing to make presentation?
I'm the applicant, I'm just here to answer questions and make sure that it's clearly on my end.
Council, do you have any questions for the applicant before we move on? No?
No.
Okay, they're good, thank you, I appreciate that. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor on the phone or online? Anything received in favor?
Nothing received.
Anyone wishing to speak against in person? Anyone wishing to speak against on the phone or online? Anything received against?
Nothing received against.
One last call, anyone wishing to speak in favor, against, on, make any general comments or questions online, on the phone, or in person? So now I'll close the public hearing at 8:15 PM. Do I have a mover? Councillor Belanger, second. Councillor Mamchuk.
Therefore, be resolved that conditional use application C14-2022 is approved subject to the following conditions. Applicant shall apply and be approved for the building permit through the Rural Municipality Resort Office. 2, garden suite shall comply with the zoning bylaw 9/2019 as amended, section 5.5. 3, the garden suite shall not be rented to the general public at any time. And 4, the applicant will provide a signed confirmation letter accepting the terms of the order. There may be site audits conducted to ensure compliance, and non-compliance issues may be caused to revoke the conditional use at any time.
Open for council discussion. Council, do you have anything to add, comments?
not here.
No, discussing planning, really? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried 5-0, thank you. 6.2.2, C15, 2022, Ingle, Twin Creek Road. If you guys want to leave, you're more than welcome to. Sorry, C15, 2022, Ingle, Twin Creek Road.
The proposal is to allow a single-family dwelling in an agricultural limited zone.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing at 8:16 PM. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor, in person, or the applicant to make presentation?
Hey, this is Jeff. Can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
It's an application so that I can build a house at the east end of the 20 acres, which would be up against the other 5-acre lots at the east end along Twin Creek Road.
Okay, council, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Not here.
Mr. Engel, your intention for the remaining lot was for just the agricultural, correct?
Yeah, that's why you stick it at one end so that you can farm the rest a little easier.
Just have a quick question. You don't have any plans of subdividing any of that residual land?
Well, future maybe, but not right now. First want to build a house and live there, kinda, right?
Yeah.
I think, if I may, Councilor
Yeah,
Clayton, I
you
think,
know where we're going.
yeah, I think council's, direction and initiative, since we started as council as a whole, has been to limit, subdivision of agricultural land. So our concern would be if there was a home built in there, eventually you would want to subdivide again, and they would want to subdivide again and again and again, so on and so forth, so forth. So I guess maybe what we're asking is, would you be comfortable or okay if there was a condition where you could not subdivide for future use? To keep it agricultural?
Would that be ever or considered in the future? Because there are 5-acre lots all along that all along that
so
road.
Yeah, that's valid. That would be council's request would be forever. I think the direction council would like to see is to maintain agricultural as best as possible, going forward. That wasn't council's decisions previously. Before our time, that was another council decision to separate that area. But this council, doesn't like the direction of separating agricultural into small subdivisions like that, or pocket developments, I guess we could call them. So, I think that's gonna be a request from council, once we get to the voting time, would be that it could not, be subdivided.
Well, then we'll have to go with that, I reckon.
Okay, I appreciate that. Anything else for Mr. Engel? Okay, thank you, I appreciate that, Mr. Engel. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor in person? I saw someone's hand up.
Yeah,
I'll just get you to come up here.
I'm Tom Pearson, the realtor. Jeff is the previous owner in the area. He bought a property from me, probably about 25 years or 30 years ago. And he only moved out because, he's a doctor, and he moved out to, Morden to work in that Winkler Morden area. He's coming back now, and, he wants peace and quiet. That's why he's looking in the area. But to deny any future of the development, he's not looking at it now. But it would seem silly to me, as a local realtor, when you drive down the street, everybody's got 5 acres. They're all 5 acres. Even for a farmer to go into a 20-acre area like that, it's hardly feasible for him to do it. So I'm very much opposed, not only for this property, but for other properties in the area to say, oh, absolutely, we don't want to do any subdividing. That just seems ridiculous. And I've lived in the area for 43 years, and I've seen 1-acre properties like that divided off of properties like that. Years ago, it was never a problem.
No, I appreciate that. The council's direction is to maintain agriculture, and the province is going to plan 2050, which is called Bill 38, and that will pretty much eliminate.
I would just ask you to take a look, just take a drive down this road. There's very nice houses. They're all beautiful houses. And to have, I know Jeff is gonna be happy with the 10 acres.
Yeah.
But to say to him, oh, well, we're gonna deny you everything, that just, to me, would be ridiculous.
I appreciate it. Well, that's the direction I'll be going, just so you know,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that.
Yeah. First, you have to build up the property, and, there's so many different things you have to do if you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Mr. Turkson. Thank you.
Like I said, I've lived here, and I could show you many properties that were developed, subdivided, and why they would allow that, I have no idea. But they were done.
Yeah, and that's kind of the goal, is to stop that. That's what we're trying to do. So I appreciate that.
I think it all has to do with aesthetics. I think if you drove down that road, you would say, boy, that's pretty silly to see. To me, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not voting in favor, it doesn't matter to me. I know Jeff would like this property, but I'm speaking more or less generally, that I would be opposed to that.
And I appreciate that.
So,
Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor? I didn't see anyone else. Anyone online wishing to speak in favor? Anything received in favor?
Nothing received in favor.
Anyone on the phone wishing to speak in favor, sorry? Is there anyone in person wishing to speak against? Anyone online or on the phone wishing to speak against? Anything received against?
Nothing received against.
One last call, anyone wishing to make any final comments, general questions, speak in favor or against, online, on the phone, or in person? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing at 8:22 PM. Do I have a mover? Councillor Monchuk, second. Councillor Clayton.
Therefore, be resolved that conditional use application C-15-2022 is approved subject to the following conditions. 1, applicant obtains a building permit from the Armory Shop. 2, prior to construction, driveway must be extended to the property and provide access. 3, submitted plans are to include and detailed architectural drawings stamped by an engineer. 4, applicant is to apply for and obtain a flood elevation permit and a septic field permit from the province. 5, site plan to include setbacks, compliance with table 10-2 of the zoning bylaw. And 6, the applicant will sign a confirmation letter accepting the terms, and there may be site audits conducted to ensure compliance. And then any non-compliance issues may be caused to revoke the conditional use at any time.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. I'll open up for council discussion. Did you check with legal to see future subdivision? No.
In my opinion, every subdivision needs to be on its own merit. So if council, and if this council or councils of the future want to deny future subdivisions, this is up to them at that point in time. That's my on-legal
I have to agree
professional
with
opinion.
that, yeah. This conditional use is for his house to be on the 20 acres.
Yeah. Council feels comfortable with that? It's fine with me. Anything else from council? Not here. No, not here. Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried 5-0. Thank you.
I had one more question.
Sure, yeah.
Do you think I can rent it out? You know, the 15 acres that, you know, if I made my 5-acre lot or that sort of thing, it's, as Tom said, it's a little hard to turn a tractor around, and, you know, I had forgotten about that, but I certainly don't want to look after 15 acres. I'm getting old.
I don't think renting's an issue. I see it
No,
come all the time,
yeah, by all means.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
No, you're good to go.
Okay, second question is, Richard's a good place to live. I've lived there before. I was a mile south of St. Adolphe on the river, and before that, when I was going to school, I was at my parents' place north of town, and it's a nice place. So if you're not gonna subdivide some of the rural area, how do people get to enjoy this wonderful place that I've enjoyed in the past? Where are they gonna find the 5-acre lots or 2-acre lots?
That's a great question, but unfortunately, the meetings I've been in, and I can't speak too much on it because it hasn't passed yet through the, what's it called? Not Parliament. Parliament, it hasn't passed through Parliament, yeah. Their vision is to limit that kind of growth and to focus more on denser, settlements. So that's been in the works for, has it been over 2 years now? And it's set to pass, sometime in May. So it's not council's doing completely, it's the province's vision for what Manitoba should be.
And I think it's mostly about converting eggs.
Yeah, sorry, it's mostly about saving eggs. Yeah.
There are still, there are some nice lots designated for the larger areas,
Yeah,
so.
but to move away from that over 2 acres is kind of the vision for Manitoba, for the province currently. Just so you know.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. I get the idea of saving ag land. It makes sense. But living in the sticks is a lot of enjoyment. Anyways, thanks, and have a good evening. Good night.
6.3.1, 4165-22813, IDC Development Inc., 65 lot residential.
Basically, this is a subdivision, proposal, that will create new roads, as a result, requiring a public hearing.
Okay, I'll open up the public hearing at 8:26 PM. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of the applicant to make presentation? Come on up, sir. You got a tough crowd right now.
Well, so we're doing a 65 lot subdivision there, so I produced a lot of answers to Tanya, so I don't know if you guys got that. But Candace talked on my behalf, so, you know, it's been a long time, there's been a Trans-Canada Pipeline there, has, you know, held us up for almost a year and a half, so we're ready to go, and whatever questions you guys have.
Sure. Open up for council. Council, any questions?
Actually, no, Matt, questions were answered. I would like to see some alignment between the street accesses with the east and west sides. I know that could be a little tough with how much room you've got on the west side of Main Street. Your 55 plus side. I think like where we have the road now coming out is that it lines up with that long, stretch there, that 60 feet there. Yeah, if you want us to look at something else, like it would, something on the south part of that earmark you're calling.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work on the north. We would have to look into that.
Can I interject for 1 second? Sorry.
No, who is it? Oh, it says here.
No, just quick. Yeah, go ahead, Candace, sorry.
Thanks, guys. I've spoken at length with MTI about this because that was the intent, because as you guys know, we were kind of planning for both of these developments to happen at the same time. So we were looking at the interconnection of both of those, dealing with TransCanada Pipeline and needing the 100-foot public reserve. This is actually what MTI has come back and recommended. And it's about the only way that we can do that. So what we were kind of planning and hoping to do is just interconnect them with sidewalks and some walking trails. That way it kind of keeps them together. I know it's a little bit dissected, given that we're a little bit outside of town and we're not completely contiguous, but I'm kind of working with what I got based on the comments back from MTI.
Okay, yeah, my concern was just two different entrances to two decent sized developments that we're gonna hear complaints about, as far as traffic goes.
Completely hear that, understand, and that was something that we have been working on, but like I said, this was kind of exactly what they were the ones proposing. So I'm not really sure how to mitigate that, especially with the public reserve on the 55 plus one, because we can't really put a road into there. They would not allow that, so.
Yeah, technically it's just a driveway, right?
Yeah.
One on that side.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Is it 68 on both sides? If both were to be developed?
Is what?
Both units, how many units on each side total?
68 this one and the other one is,
65 lots, and the other one we have, like, north, 67.
I'm just curious.
68, but the bottom one we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious, because
We're just,
yeah.
thinking we do silo apartments. or-
Yeah.
Chris is still volunteering to take that down with his jackhammer.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, that's all I had. Anything else from council?
I certainly heard your name a lot, you know, you're a developer. Do you have anything similar to this that you've done in other communities?
Yeah, so right now we got a big one going in Lorette, at the golf course there.
Yeah.
So we finished our first phase, and we're trying to get going on the second phase. The first phase, we're about 60 lots, 2 plus,
Okay.
and multifamily sites there.
Yeah.
So that was one question there about, restrictions of what they could build. Obviously, we're gonna do that here.
Mhm.
Like we want double garages and certain size and certain size for 2 stories and bungalows and stuff like that. So,
Are you probably gonna have one contractor doing the whole works, or you have?
no, we'll be selling a lot, so.
Okay.
So in Lorette, we have 5 builders, there are 4 builders.
Yeah.
Kind of like Turtle Creek, but, an individual can still buy a lot. We didn't do that in Lorette. We didn't have to, because everyone bought them up early.
So there's an opportunity for some variety there between the different,
Yeah, for sure. So like in Lorette, there's, there might be 2 houses local lake, but the duplexes local lake,
Yeah.
but not the houses. And if they are, you don't know what's the
Anything else? Go ahead, Mr. Shield.
For Lorette, you have architectural controls on?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, no, I went for a drive last night and,
Yeah, it's a mess there, but it looks sharp.
That's good?
Yeah, I like the Lorette golf course, I've been to.
Okay.
Anything else from council? Okay, thank you, Mr. Teller, I appreciate that. Is there anyone else in person? No, I'm just kidding. Is there anyone online or on the phone wishing to speak in favor? Anything received in favor?
Nothing received. Anyone wishing to speak against, online or on the phone?
Or in person? Nothing, anything received against?
Nothing. Okay. Any final comments, questions in favor, against, online, on the phone? Nothing. Okay, I'll close the public hearing at 8:32 PM. Do I have a mover? Councilor Manchuk, second, Councilor Pelletier.
Therefore, be it resolved that council approves the subdivision file 4165-22-8183, subject to the following conditions: that the applicant must enter into a development agreement with the municipality. 2, a zoning bylaw amendment is required in lots 35 to 65 from AL, Ag Limited Zone to RG5, Residential General 5,000 Zone. 3, a zoning bylaw amendment is required for lots 1 to 4 and lots 31 to 35 for Agricultural Limited to RG8. Variance orders are required to vary the minimum site widths of all the lots that do not comply with the RG5 and RG8 zones.
Okay, council discussion, anything to add, comments? No? Okay, I'll call for the question, all those in favor? That's carried 5-0, thank you very much. I think we're out of public hearings.
Yes.
Sorry, okay, you can head out, Kenneth.
Okay,
Thank you.
Good night. Actually, Ken, if you can hang on, just on next item coming up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. So you wanna just keep going down the list and we'll jump back up after?
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so 7.1 bylaw 13/2022 rezoning for IDC development 65 lot subdivision. Do I have a mover? Councillor Clayton, second, Councillor Manchuk.
As a result of approving the subdivision previously passed, one of the conditions were to rezone certain lots from AL to RG5 and other lots from AL to RG8. So this is the intent. This is first reading with intent of holding a public hearing on November 16th. Too late?
I'm gonna be on a beach.
Not anymore.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'll open up for council discussion.
Yeah, I know it's not normal, so you're doing 8s on the front, or you wanna do RG8 on the front along Main Street for the duplexes?
Yeah.
And then 5 for the rest, but you've got a lot of these that are 8 and bigger?
Yeah, give me the measurements, sorry. So the ones, the ones along the road are duplex lots, like nine of them that are on Main Street. And then, the inside ones are, the corners are like 61 and.
Right, so the inside ones are all good at the RG5.
Yeah.
But I think I would like to keep all the other ones on the outside, which are way over RG8, to stay as an RG8 and not bring that down to RG5 for those ones.
And what size, like I have 70s or 75s?
I didn't see too many of those.
All the way around the back? Like all the outside ones?
1 to 4 and 31 to 35.
Those are duplexes.
Yeah, no, the ones on the back, I've got measurements of 8,400 and up square feet.
Oh. And what are they?
Well, that's marked as going RG5.
Okay, well, they're 70 feet wide, all those lots. And when did you redo do you guys do your zoning bylaw lately, or? Because the everything, this was written up almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
So, I think I was even looking at one time, are your bigger lots 75 feet wide now, or are they 70s still?
The bigger lots are 60 with 8,000 square feet,
Okay,
or
Yeah.
70, I don't know.
okay.
I got it in right here.
So these are all 70
I think it's 70.
and higher.
84, yeah, 70, because your area is 8,400, your depth is 120, so your front is 70, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm good with the inside lots being RG5, but I'd like to keep that outside zoned RG8, since they all meet the requirements anyway.
Since they what?
They meet the requirements of an RG8 anyway.
So, so everything, other than your inside lots.
Yeah.
These are 5, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But it looks like you're asking for these to be 5 as well, and I'd rather.
I don't think they have to be, no.
Okay, no, they all the measurements are on there, and there's none that are.
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
That makes sense, eh, Candace?
Yeah, totally. I mean, if you guys are good with having additional RG8 lots, I think we're fantastic with that.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, so I'm not making it smaller or anything, so.
Okay.
Whatever works.
Does that change anything from our end?
Well, before you would give it first reading, we would have to highlight it as RG8.
To get a marker?
As long as I know we'll make the change.
It'll be lots 5 to, 30.
Yeah, all the other ones.
Yeah,
Basically, everything outside would be RG, and then those 2 islands would be left at 5. And even those are 65 to,
Yeah.
So in an RG8, 60 feet for a single-family dwelling is what the bylaw says. Minimum, and then two-family is 80 feet, so. Yeah, two-family on a RG5 is 50 feet, so then inner ones would, because that's what you're doing, two-family, right?
Correct,
just
yeah.
just on the yellow stuff right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything internal would be single family. So if you guys are okay with doing the duplex lots around the entire perimeter of it, I mean, I think that's a good transition and it makes for good planning to keep all of that on the outside with single family on the inside, because then you don't have the backyards facing onto duplex lots, which is usually where you find the highest number of objectors.
and I think they're just asking to keep a lot bigger, we'll keep what the duplexes are, right? Yeah, so what we ask for, 9, we'll say duplexes, and the rest are just making sure we stay the big lots, 70 feet, single family.
Yes.
Yeah,
There you go. Or we'll make them 5 if you want to try and put duplexes there, Candace. We'll make it RG5, all lots of duplex. I'm good with the duplexes in the front. I just want to keep the big lot size on the outside.
Yeah,
and
sure.
The far
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Anything else from council? Well done. Do you need to read away there?
And that's for the next meeting, am I right?
Yeah, November 16th.
Yeah.
Good. You need to call for the question. Thank
is
you.
that date carved in stone, November 16th?
No.
Okay, because Council Peltier is there, and he's not gonna.
I will find internet
Okay.
and behave that day, apparently.
Okay.
What is it, a 4-hour difference, so you're fine.
No, same time zone.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
You gotta behave.
Make sure the beach is in the background.
Yeah, that goes over well.
Perfect. Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Carried by vote. Thank you.
Nice, man.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Candace.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, we're gonna move on to, well, we might as well just do 8.1.1 efficiency Manitoba advocate. Do I have a mover? Councilor Peltier, second. Councilor Manship.
As discussed with the EDO, this is to, contribute some money towards efficiency, and let the EDO run with some kind of program to try to, help with the situation.
Thank you. Questions from council?
Just curious what situation.
Yeah.
Well, Manitoba Hydro is trying to reduce consumption, and this is a opportunity granting that RMs will have to look at existing facilities, current, other means, reduce shower heads, stuff like that. So it's just a matter of trying to implement efficiencies in the municipality.
Anything else from council? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? It's carried by vote. Thank you. 8.1.2 Southeast Manitoba Regional Transit. Do I have a mover? Councilor Clayton, second. Councilor Manship.
Again, as discussed with the EDO, this is regarding, the southeast, possible transit system. I guess council had made a decision to participate, but no resolution was passed at the time, so now we're trying to make it official.
Okay, comments, questions for council?
No, I think this is good. I think we'll get our seniors involved in this as well, maybe, if it works out well, so.
Perfect. Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried by vote. Thank you. Moving back up, item 3, adoption of the minutes. Do I have a mover? Councilor Manship, second. Councilor Peltier.
Last meeting was held October 4th. It was a delegation regarding the Ildershane development. Council also did an endorsement to go ahead with the application of an environmental license regarding the presentation that was made by Landmark Planning. We also released a letter of credit on phase 1B and 1C for the Chiron Creek development, and a minor resolution modification towards the art and culture sport grant application. As well, we discussed the daycare pilot project as we're moving ahead with that as well.
Thank you. Okay, questions, comments, edits from council? None, I'll call for the question, all those in favor, that's carried, thank you. 5.1, accounts paid to be approved by the mover.
Unison.
Oh, sorry, the most important.
Most important.
Four, Councillor, committee report, minutes, go ahead, mover. Councillor Manchuk, second. Councillor Belanger, second. Okay. Take it away, Mr. Zio.
As provided to council, Councilor Belanger has a report regarding Crow Wing Trail, the GPHA, Howden Community Center, and the RMX Expansion Committee.
Thank you. Councillor Belanger, did you want to expand on any of these?
No, that's quite form. I think you take guys interested.
Good work, appreciate it. Questions for Councillor Belanger?
Yeah, regarding the Crow Wing Trail, they're having a hard time
Yeah.
with trail maintenance, trail box is no longer there.
Yeah.
And,
There's 2 people, and they're over 70.
how about the board? Is there participation in the
That's
board?
the board.
Is there only, is it not still only 2 people?
2 people plus
Plus yourself?
myself and plus Andre,
Congress.
Okay.
Carbonell
Yeah.
from, Salisbury, and we're just there because we have to be, so
So
we're
there's
not.
just 2 council members and then,
Yeah, the 2, so it has gone down significantly, and so they're gonna be making presentations to all the councils in, along the Crow Trail, to see what they can,
It's a long trail, correct?
290 kilometers.
I'm wondering, why wouldn't they break it down, like, isn't Snowman do it, where they like have
regions?
regions where they take care of this
This
section?
is what they're hoping to
Oh,
present.
okay, well then, we should have read your report, Okay, moving on. Any other questions?
Can we keep talking about this?
No. I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. 5.1, accounts paid to be approved by the mover. Councillor Belanger, second. Councillor Pelche.
Three batches, batch 16472, 15,000, batch 16514, EFTs 491, and batch 16524, which is tax refund 3600. Nothing to report on this matter.
Perfect. Anything from council? Questions? No. Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. 5 votes. Thank you. 5.2, accounts not paid to be approved by the mover. Councillor Manchuk, second. Councillor Clayton.
Two batches, batch 16532 in the amount of 289,000, and batch 16538 in the amount of 2,000. For the bigger batch, you have supporting documents, basically the last page 21 of 21 of the report tells you the capital projects, as well as a summary report provided by the assistant CEO.
Thank you. Council, any questions?
No.
No. Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. 5.3, payroll to be approved by the mover. Councillor Pelche, second. Councillor Belanger.
Payroll 20 for staff from September 25th to October 8th. There's some overtime hours there. Some of those hours are DFA related, so it will be claimable. In regards to the fire departments, quarter 3, there was about a total of 1,623 hours, which averages about 33 hours per individual. So, just a heads up.
Okay. Council, any questions? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Where are we now? Okay, I will, call for adjournment. Do I have a mover? Councillor Manchuk, second. Councillor Clayton.
That could be my final adjournment.
That's why.
Any, final comments or questions?
Well, I hope hopefully we can do this in the next 4 years.
Yes, absolutely. I do appreciate working with both of you over the last 4 years. I wish you both the best, and I also wish anyone that's currently running in the municipal elections throughout all Manitoba the very best, and those that aren't running again, thank you for your service. Anything else from council?
It has been the absolute highlight of my life, being a councillor and serving my community. I'm certainly hoping for 4 more, but, it's truly changed me, so it's been great working with all of you.
Yeah, perfect. I appreciate that. Anything else? Ditto?
Have a good evening, everybody.
Have a good evening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, I guess I got a call for the question. Oh, I did already. No, I did already. Sorry. Councilor Ramchuk, Councilor Clayton, I call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. 8:48 PM. I close the meeting. Thank you.